It never ends! For CD Projekt Red and Cyberpunk 2077, at least. Abry Advisors, a UK-based investor in CDPR, have written a very angry letter, pointing fingers and calling for change within the company, lest they mobilize the rest of the shareholders in an effort to completely replace the company's supervisory board. According to the Bloomberg article, which is in the description as usual, Abry expressed, quote, utter dismay and disbelief with developments at the company over the last 12 months on behalf of all shareholders, end quote. This was conveyed in a letter sent directly to the board of CDPR and is a direct result of the financial shortcomings of the company as detailed in their Q1 financial conference call that took place recently. Couple this with the fact that since the release of what was supposed to be CDPR's next big franchise, they'd ride the success of Cyberpunk 2077, the company's stock has dropped 57%, and it's easy to see why Abry might be a teeny tiny bit concerned and or pissed off with this whole situation. Specifically speaking here, the exact changes Abry Advisors want CDPR to enforce include the recalling of CEO Adam Kaczynski and higher-up Marcin Iwinski, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, probably not, as well as demanding the game studio provide a public plan on how they'll sort this mess out. Abry Advisors CEO, Jeffrey Tierman, said in an interview, quote, I don't think you could have intentionally tried to make so many mistakes as these guys have made. It's really shocking, end quote. Scathing words, Mr. Tierman. Scathing, but deserved. For the plan of replacing the supervisory board of CDPR to actually go through, however, Abry will need to ensure that the 3/5 majority of shareholders are all in agreement. Also complicating matters is the fact that the current guys in charge, aka the Kaczynskis, from what I can tell, own around 34% of the company and have a big role in deciding who is placed atop their oh-so-prestigious board. It's also worth mentioning that neither Abry Advisors nor its CEO were present at the May 25th CDPR shareholder meeting, and that CDPR's supervisory board chair, whose name I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce, said that none of the issues mentioned by Abry were raised. Tierman did clarify that the reason they didn't show up or register for the event was because he, quote, hoped the board would take actions to correct the ship instead of just hitting the replay button, end quote. The Bloomberg article also states that, according to Tierman, quote, the last straws for him were the company's first quarter results and the board's reinstating of the management team, end quote. You know, we keep hearing and talking about all these things surrounding the game, like the lawsuits and now the shareholder anger, but nothing feels like it's changing or even moving along the pipeline. I'm sure the reason we feel that way is because we aren't exactly aware of all the shit that's happening behind the scenes, but I'm still waiting for any actual repercussions to take effect in a way we can all look at it and actually physically see the results with our own eyes and, seeing any major sort of impact taking place. As it stands, all we can do is sit here and wait for the next patch, which will inevitably disappoint. I hope I'm wrong, of course. I want this game's wasted potential to be fully realized, and I sincerely hope that we'll look back on this whole situation years from now and say to ourselves, wow, remember when that game was like that? Wow, how far we've come. Sadly, the more time drags on, the less likely that scenario looks. In closing, I'll leave you with some more words from Abry Advisors CEO Jeffrey Tierman. Quote, I would like the company to put forward a public plan as to how it intends to address all of the shortcomings and how it plans, from a strategic perspective, to repair its brand and trust that's been lost among its client base and its shareholder base, end quote. And that doesn't mean bullshit graphs.